No! It's like, nah. Yo, what's going on? This is Raeshad from RashadBeats.com. Welcome back to another video. And today, we are going to talk about dealing with ego and dealing with other people's ego when you're working on business and personal levels or anything of the such. We're going to be talking about ego today. When it comes to ego, one thing that I notice is that, especially when we get good at something, we start to develop this top tier thinking of that skill that we're good at. And in regards to that, I feel like when we start working on things differently and we start to get better at certain things, we start to develop a habit of getting better. We also develop an ego for it. For an example, say like if I was good at doing certain logos and certain graphic design and whatever, and I was communicating with a customer who may have had a issue with a recent graphic designer or whatever, and he shows me say like he'll show me the design that he got from that graphic designer, and this is all hypothetical, and say like I look at the design like, oh yeah, that's shit, that's total shit, like why would you even spend money on this guy, or you know what I'm saying, you definitely wasted your money, he didn't do anything good, or you know what I mean, you just kind of throwing him under the bus, which is kind of boosting you up and kind of giving him the aspect, or giving the client who's contacting you, or contacting me in this case, the idea that I'm way better than the guy he hit up. And you know, quality shows improves, but at the same time, boosting yourself up like that is ego. So whatever, you know, and now imagine, now this is where the ego really comes into play. Now imagine if I wasn't as good as I said I was, and then I did the design, and then he looked at it and it wasn't even as good as the last one. Now imagine that. I'm over here boosting myself up to a point and getting a big hit over things, and then I failed to deliver the product at a high quality rate, and then he's looking at me like I'm crazy, like, bro, this is not even good, you know what I mean? So that is just one of the reasons why ego needs to be controlled. And one thing that you can do with your ego to control it, I feel like you gotta just gotta learn to humble yourself, you know what I mean? Because I think the universe has a way to humble you if you don't, you know what I mean? If you continue to carry on like you know everything, the universe will give you a sign saying, like, you know, trying to put you in a certain type of situation where you think you might know something but you don't, and has you looking crazy, you know what I mean? And then you get the sign like, damn, you know, let me chill out, let me humble myself a little bit. So yeah, like ego, like let me humble myself a little bit. So in that regards to ego, let's talk about dealing with egotistical people in business. Now, you deal with a person with ego, it's always I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to do something else. Like, they always feel like they got to do something higher than what you give them. But in reality, you just want to get the shit done. You know what I'm saying? So dealing with people with ego is hard because you're dealing with people who feel like they are at a level that they're not at. And when they feel that they're at that level, they feel they can do whatever they would like and pretty much step all over the plans, step all over the group's plans, pretty much set everybody back. You know what I mean? Dealing with egotistical people is obviously a poison to whatever you're doing. If the person has a huge ego and it comes to group settings and stuff, then eventually it just sets the group apart, and then everybody's like, nah, I don't want to work with him. You don't really get things done. He's just too busy stroking his ego. You know what I mean? So as far as ego goes, you gotta learn to step away from egotistical people. If you have a habit of dealing with people who are egotistical, but you work with them depending on, you know what I'm saying, but you work with them because they pay good or whatever they do something that benefits you greatly. You want to kind of get out of that mode, because that can result into some long-term stress, and then eventually giving you that long-term egotistical attitude as well, because you're hanging around these people so much, they're gonna rub off on you no matter what, and that's just universal law. How to deal with ego? To deal with your own ego, you gotta, what I like to use, what I like to say, and I learned this from an interview. It was actually Pharrell's interview, Pharrell the producer, Neptunes. I actually watched the interview, and he was talking about how ego makes you feel good when you're doing good, but when you're doing bad and you're looking terrible and you pretty much plummeted, like everything is looking bad, your ego is right behind you, just boosting on, egging on you doing bad. Like, man, like, what's going on? Like, you're looking bad right now, bro. Like, that was embarrassing. Like, what are you doing? Like, you need to get better. Like, that's terrible. You know what I mean? So you gotta think about it like this. Your ego is playing sides. You know what I mean? So you gotta kind of get rid of your ego because it's playing sides. One of the biggest things to get rid of ego, I say, is to start dealing with people who are a lot more, start dealing with people who are a lot more humbler about their experiences and about their art and about their craft. You deal with those type of people, then you're bound to figure out how to get rid of that as well. You're bound to figure out what you can do to kind of step away from this high-ended thinking that you're on a certain level, knowing damn well in reality you're not. You know what I mean? So dealing with ego is important because ego can sabotage a lot of relationships. It'll burn a lot of bridges, and it also I feel like it kind of makes people delusional, thinking they're good when they're really not. You know what I mean? So especially in the music industry, there's a lot of dudes who say, "Yeah, I rap. Throw me in the studio." Okay, like, you know what I mean? You rap, so the fuck what? Like, what makes you so different? What makes you so special for me to actually try to build with you and not just put you in the studio and record you and that's it? You know what I mean? Like, people think they're gonna get in the studio just off the strength of rapping. So as far as ego goes, man, deal with people who don't really have a concept of ego. They kind of understand the concept and they don't really care about it. Deal with people that are wonderful at their craft, but they're also students of their craft as well. They're still learning. They feel like they're not at peak. They're always trying to find different ways to make things better. So deal with people like that. And that's pretty much it, man. Raeshad Beats out. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it. Like this video for me. Raeshad Beats is out. Peace. Thank you again.